What the heck? Can I move away from this top? Okay. Testing 1, 2. Okay. Not really. No, I moose. I'm too busy as it is. I don't even know what is new in it. You haven't looked at it. Add set preprocessor. What is it? Guess set. Add sounds like you can add more than one. I don't know. Yeah, it starts to look like C++ again. Might even compile now. Let's step back and look at what it is doing now. You know what, I'm just gonna compile it. Yeah. Begin source file on clang front end. Takes the source file and a translation unit. Oh, I renamed it. Begin source file. Yeah. Way more refactoring is needed, but let's just make this work now with, let's say, clang preprocessor reference. Ugh. I wonder if the dereference of a const unique pointer is a const or not. Const reference. Theoretically, it could be. Doesn't have to be. Let's try it like this. No member named begin translation unit. Too few arguments. Begin source file. This argument to member function and source file is type const, that function not marked const. Annoying. Yeah, let's hope that we can make it const. And I would make the diagnostic consumer const. So the end source file here is ruffle. Not, wait a minute, that's not fine. Well, it's not const. Override, no const inside, damn it. Extract API. Let's go to the yeah, none of these things is const. So annoying. So just for this end source file, which kind of, I mean, what is it doing that it is not const? We have to make this non-const. Very, very, very annoying. Well, then I might as well add an underscore here. I'll make this non-const then. No, damn it. I see a make and I think let's press enter. That make. Man, is this ever going to compile? Too many arguments. Expected 0. Yeah, okay. Okay, who can guess what is this? At least 10 years of experience required, I think. Nobody. Well, my first idea is that you have an incomplete type. You are using an incomplete type in a standard unique pointer. And well, I was thinking about this before, so I'm kind of confused that it happens. So then I'm thinking maybe it's not that. Yeah, and it must be that. Yeah. I see unique pointer and we see size of incomplete type. And then that means that you have a unique pointer of an incomplete type. And that is possible. I mean, I forward declared it. And you can do that, provided you don't instantiate the destructor of the class that has the standard unique pointer. And I thought I didn't do that, so apparently I did. Do we see any evidence here that it is in the destructor? Yes, deleter is called. So then the question is, why do we get here? Now requested here, release, also delete, right? And that is inside. Delete, okay, where does that come from? In instantiation of standard unique pointer implementation, blah, 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 delete. Why are we trying to delete it? That is the question. So it's basically not telling us. And this is not our file, 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 this is not our file. So you don't get anything that points to a file of us, but we do get an error, and it doesn't really tell you where the problem is. That's why I remember this, because it's a very hard problem normally. So remember this. Unique pointer, invalid application of size of. Now, obviously, we're going to have a clang preprocessor here on a standard unique pointer. Unique pointer. So I added that thing here, and the preprocessor is incomplete. I forward declared it. And it should be okay as long as we don't call the destructor of this thing. Preprocessor. And I thought that wouldn't happen because I'm using it. That's the problem. Yeah. So I did make we do have a destructor here that is not inline. It's there, not compiler generated, and it's also not inline. But this is a problem. I mean, in the header is code that assigns to standard unique pointer. Yeah, I don't know. This might be it. Let's try to not have this here. See if that is it. See? That would have been very, very, very hard to find. I think it was a good interview question. If they would have shown me this compile error during an interview, I would immediately fix this. And that would be so hard. Okay, so the problem is that we do something with preprocessor in the header. You should not do that if this one is incomplete. So we're gonna move this to the let's just put it here. I don't know. Yeah. In the class, it's above. Maybe I should even put it below that, but I'm gonna put it here. Bing. So maybe I should move this down. Okay, it compiles. Amazing. I bet it also works therefore. That is, that it's still doing exactly the same as before. The annoying thing of refactoring, that you work your ass off and basically nothing changes. Either you break it or nothing changes. Well, actually, something did change. It was core dumping, and now it doesn't anymore. It's printing the error. I meant 2 hashes. There was a problem with the diagnostics thing. So this is a diagnostic, an error. And I was not calling begin source file and end source file, I guess. What's it called? SC page size. Fuck. Yeah, this is dirty. How do I get rid of that? I'm not super happy to have the preprocessor, even though it's a unique pointer, inside my translation unit. It's kind of a temporary thing, but. It's a thing that is necessary to be able to call this, but we do that from the member function of the clang frontend. It's just that, yeah, I think I went the wrong route here. I think this thing should be part of that function of the clang frontend. This seems to make more sense. I don't even want to be confronted with the file ID here, so both of these. Or maybe I don't need them, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, actually. It's a tough decision. Well, maybe keep it like this for now. I don't know. Okay, I wanted to see when this is called and with what. And the problem there is that it's very unclear with what. We got stuff here. What is it? I need better debug output there. So we can see in fraction of a second what exactly it is. Guess the offset and length that can be translated to a string, and the line and the column. Okay, maybe they speak for themselves. Let's say I print the string that represents this token, some token. So let's get some kind of string view. I think I made a class called view. Having that view, I can get a string view. I just call realize on view. I don't know how to get a view yet, but so we have a view and I call realize on it. So I need to create a view then for this offset with a certain length. Is that possible? Well, that will be length, and this is then should be a pointer to a contiguous area. Well, we have the whole file in a buffer. So yeah, when I wrote this, this thing allowed to either point in a buffer that exists of chunks, and then optionally makes it contiguous if the length passes some border between two blocks. Then realize would make a copy. So the whole view is outdated because we read now everything in memory, which is necessary for clang. Anyway, so yeah, then this is not needed. So forget the view. I suppose I don't use view really yet. View. There's a view here. So as well include view range. Okay, it's used here and there. Let's edit it away. Range. So as well iterator first and last. Well, that will do it. Maybe you should still work with the view. Just change the view itself a little bit. Yeah, okay. This should totally work. So it is just created from a pointer on the size, assuming that it is contiguous. That already works then. Contiguous area. I only have contiguous area. So yeah, type is always external. So it's already contiguous stuff. I never implemented the whole allocated thing. So I could now delete that code, but it's not doing anything. So maybe I need it in the future. I don't see a reason to delete it. It's probably better to delete it by the time everything works anyway. And then I realize that I really don't need it. So I'm gonna work with this view, and then we can call a range with 2 iterators, for example. And or maybe let's add another one. Let's call this thing spin. Iterator first, and then the length. It's same as size, really. I just call it size because it was size here. I need a source file. Do we have a source file here? I don't think we have. It would maybe kind of nice to have a source file in the translation unit to begin with. I have been avoiding that. Yeah, otherwise I would have passed the source file as well here. We really just work with offset. Do I want to work? Yeah, I want to work with offset. Offset and length are necessary to know. I guess I just have to keep a reference to the source file in the translation unit. A const reference. Yeah, let's just add accessors for everything. Everything. Well, not the clang front end. Not non-const. I know. Let's just add this one. Source file. Const. Return. And then, then I don't know anymore what I was editing. Oh yeah. So now we have a source file. And I need to get an iterator to something. Can do begin. No, let's do that inside of here. You can just get begin and then add it, but I would probably not a bad idea to make sure that we don't get out of bounds by checking it with the links. How about an add? Yeah, just be less than size, I suppose. Which one is faster? Buffer end is an addition. Position buffer plus current position. What? This is not the one that I want. Support. Memory buffer. Actually, this is probably the one. Get buffer end. We have a buffer end. Yeah, go ahead. The size is a subtraction. So let's just calculate the buffer end and calculate. Get the buffer end, which is like literally there. No, calculate it. Yeah. Well, I'm calculating it, like here. For position, okay, this is starting to turn into a multi-line thingy now. Insert something and then return it. What should do it? But yeah, then my if I do this, then I have to do that as well in range and span, right? It's super annoying. Or maybe you can assume that my iterators are always within, so I don't have to test that one. But size is a bit dubious. Also, I'm sorry when I'm just copying whatever LLVM is doing. They call it unsigned int everywhere. Offsets. Oh wait, this is the size. Never mind. But the size type is much larger than unsigned int. But okay, that's why we need those asserts. For sure. So assert is not enough, right? I mean, in the if anyone wants to exploit the C++ format, I don't really see it happening, but okay. Theoretically, you should never do anything undefined behavior-ish, not even allow it. So, yeah. Well, I need a permanent No, I don't. I mean, if this thing is called with a size that goes out of bounds, then the code that calls this is already wrong. It's not like someone can write a C++ program that will fool the formatter into doing undefined behavior. Code is code. That's the input. The formatter will do the right thing and never do anything with undefined behavior. So I don't really see any need to have a non-debugging mode fail-safe for the size here. I'm not that paranoid. But I am paranoid during development, so let's add an assert one. Bum, 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 bum. How do you test it? Seems I have to use end. I would have to calculate a end error, I don't know. Do I support passing in AND and null? 0, I mean. Then you get a span with pointing beyond the thing and with a size of 0. So, yeah, theoretically that is allowed. As long as you then don't read it at all, which I guess one should never do if size is 0. It's a legal iterator and it works. I'm gonna accept AND, and then of course if first equals AND and this is equal to AND, I mean this is not false, and then size, which is positive, it has to be 0. Well, it's non-negative then, because first is equal to AND, so this must be 0 then. Well, actually, it must be lost. Yeah, and I don't have to test this here, because the size is calculated from last, and last is in between first and end. Definitely going to work. Now, do we support an add that points to end? I guess not. This is like an array access. You can't access end. Now, add is normally not bound checked, like the add in, I don't know, standard vector. Does it have an add? Whoever has add is not bound checked. Is it? I think it isn't. But yeah, we also only do that during debugging, in debug mode. So, but yeah, position is definitely not end. Different means that position is less than gut buffer end, so we can dereference it. But it also must be larger or equal begin. And begin is start. So offset must be non-negative, and it is because it is unsigned. Okay. No, I don't need that iterator. I can just dump it in here. And then you have to wonder why I have to call two things. Surely my source file, it's just returning something directly, like well, no it isn't. Let's call that span as well. Need a new span then for the source file, which is not highlighted for some reason. Damn it. Okay, that's way more clear. Token int line 6 column 1. Full line 6 column 5. Parentheses open and close. A brace. Struct. Yeah, well, I have to. That's line 6, column 1 for the int. Let me get column 5, that's here for the foo. And that one is column 8, column 9. And then line 7, column 1 is the bridge. And then we get struct 8.3, foo 8.10. There's a 10, yep. And then these two and the semicolon. This semicolon here. And then it gets finally interesting. Call back expanding macro declare at 9.3. 1, 2, 3. Here, yep. And then we get current location is 1, 1. Spelling 3, 1. So that is 3, 1. That's a define. What? 3, 1 is foo underscore pointer. And it gives me this here, this hash here, instead of that or something. The store at least is makes sense. 410. So here you can see the line number in the column. So put that on 410. 410. That's a star. Well, what do we get next? Where's my star? Oh, yeah. 410 is a star and 916 is a bar. So 916. Yep, that is the spelling of bar. And then I get a semicolon at 11:13. No, I'm looking wrong. We're here. 4:13. That's going to be there. Two one string literal text foo spelling. So these are not correct. Well, it's maybe it's an. I've got a name. A fake location anyway, not in a file. An expansion or something. I think it's an expansion. Could be. We can detect that, so I can print that if it is the case. But anyway, at line 2, column 1. Doesn't even exist, so yeah. This must be in an expansion location. And this one too, I think. So there is just, it's not really spelled out in the file. It's something that is constructed in a temporary buffer. So that thing and that thing. They are not in the file. And then 416 is again in the file. 416, yeah, that is this thing, of course. And then 417 is the semicolon. And then we return to non-external tokens, namely line 11, column 3. For the return. And then we get a bar at column 10, and then we get the semicolon, and the rest is boring again. It's nothing to do with macro, so it's simple. Hello, Shipankarai. I had not seen. I thought I should go to bed though, because it is, well, it was an hour ago. Well, I'm going to bed because it's getting late. Trying to think ahead for tomorrow, what to do, where I am, and what I have to do. Every time the highlighted function is called, we have a real file location, at least. And it is yeah. It's exactly the difficult stuff that has to do with the macro, where this thing isn't called, for which the thing is not called at all. So I guess the first question is, do I want it to be called? I don't think so, at least. I kind of want it, but it's complicated. So a number of these things, actually all of them. Well, no, a number of the things point inside the macro definition. And there is two things that don't even point inside the macro definition. They point to something that is temporarily created. That would be for this thing and for that string literal here. Now, in terms of formatting, I guess I need. Do I need to know that it is a string literal when it isn't even a string literal, when it is like hash some macro argument? I think I would be totally happy with if this was captured as a token and this is one token. I mean, I'm just dealing with the formatter here. And I don't think you can split these things up. Well, actually you can, but yeah, we can make it even more dirty. Let's make it one step dirty. If I think that maybe the backslash new line, actually backslash new line I removed before the preprocessor runs, I think. So I'm kind of curious, but okay, I think that if you do this, then that backslash new line is just removed, so no change here. We should still get a full pointer out of this. Let's see if that's correct. Okay, where's my full pointer? Yeah. So that did not make any difference indeed. Okay, and in this case I could call this a token, but then a token with a backslash new line inserted into it. Can't just throw that away. I mean, you might want to know that. I mean, you might want to leave it the way it is, right? So you need to know that there was a backslash new line there, otherwise you cannot reproduce the original code if you don't want to do any formatting. But yeah, still I want to see this thing then as a token, but maybe a token that is aware that there is a backslash new line inside of it. So we can also remove it if we want to. And I could store that in a special way. I could store that as a. I could store that as this token with an out of band note that there is a backslash new line at this point at offset 3 or something like inside of it. And that way, if the offset is 3 or 2, that doesn't matter. It's just this thing, and then with a bunch of backslash new lines inside of it, maybe. Okay, so let's put them there. And I'm just curious if that still understands that these two hashes belong together and are really a catenation preprocessor token instead of trying to, I don't know, stringize the underscore pointer. I think this should still work. Well, it does. You can put backslash new lines anywhere you want. Every character. And then we'll never find back. There it is. And now I'm going to bed for real. Yeah, okay, I just want to realize that at the moment we get this token here, I might want to use that to find, let's say, the fact that this thing is a token. Otherwise, I have to decode myself this whole string here. This is going to be decoded, and this is then white space. But yeah, all of this is also white space. So everything that I have highlighted here is just one string, which we find at this point already. And then I would have to parse this myself and then find out that we have an X, which is a macro argument, and then a backslash new line in the middle of two hashes, and blah, blah, blah. And then in the end, we have to figure out that this is actually a token with an inserted backslash new line. That would be more work if than if I can use the clang library somehow. But yeah, it's not super clear. I guess the big question is if it is possible to get from having this token here to at the very least this character here, the X. Just this line and this column. And I don't think that is possible. I don't think that is possible. But okay, currently we have 3.1, so maybe you can take this 3.1, which is a source location, and then you say, come on, give me where it really is in the file. That kind of stuff I think it supports. So maybe you can still go from the 3.1 to the 4.3. Yeah, that's what I'll try tomorrow. Okay, now I can go to bed. Yay.